Tom, how's the squad looking from Wednesday night?
Yeah, no new problems. So we've got Kevin and Tom Delabashir who are still our longer term injuries, and Angelo he's not going to be available to select this weekend, but will be from next weekend. And yeah, we've physically come out of Wednesday well.
With your team selection, I think that surprised a few of us. Is it a good thing that you've got so many options that us and opposition aren't quite sure who you're going to pick now?
Yeah, I've said before, you have to sort of create a game plan for every game we approach to win that football match. I went for a controlled, sort of efficient approach the other day. It didn't quite. I thought we had the control, we just didn't have the final product. And yeah, there are areas of certain individuals' games that they have to improve to start every week, and that is football.
With the kind of, when you talk about football, it's a settled side is sometimes what managers like. Are you one that likes a settled side, but you're happy to rotate and change things around depending on circumstances?
Yeah, listen, I grew up under a manager in Sir Alex that strategically plans his way through December. Now, yes, we're in a short-term results business, and I will pick a team to win every football match, but yeah, I'd be silly to think that I can use every player for every single game through December, and I've got to plot my way through that. And yeah, that's how we'll try and navigate this tough period.
How much will it come down to how they're performing on the training ground as well?
Yeah, that is who I am. I put a massive stake on how important training well is, and we train how we want to play, and we want to create a serious professional environment, and those who do that on a consistent basis will be rewarded.
Afterwards, you spoke about the two players doing the unsexy side of football. For those who aren't sure what that means, just give us an idea of what that entails.
Yeah, I know I keep banging on about this. We're talking about two players with incredible potential when they have the ball at their feet, and it's normal for a young player to not be perfect out of possession, or maybe not put as high a value on that. But yeah, I don't know the stat perfectly, but every player has the ball for 2.5 minutes per 95. And so what are you doing for the other 92.5? And listen, I'm not banging them with the same old stick, because, like I said, they are match winners, the pair of them, but it's my job to improve them on the other 92.5 minutes, and then we really do have something that looks like a complete football player.
And not just those two, but other younger players. Is it as much about learning the game and understanding kind of what's going on in certain situations?
Yeah, I mean, that generation of player, they've grew up in the generation of YouTube highlights, and it is the sort of, maybe that's me who I was as a player. I gave myself completely to the team and sacrificed myself to the team, and yeah, our more match-winning players, I'd never ever want to take that part of their game away. So I'm not asking them to be like up and down and be tired for those match-winning actions, but there is a balance somewhere in the middle. For example, at 60 minutes through the day, we then look a more excited, maybe sort of a team who's going to score, but we conceded 8 chances in 30 minutes. So that's the balancing act that I have as the coach, that yes, we looked more dangerous, but so did Hull. And that's where we need to sort of meet in the middle somewhere.
That's quite tricky, isn't it, for a manager, because supporters will want you to play all the most exciting players, but you've got to look at results and performances.
Absolutely, and when you've lost 6 out of 9 away games, that plays a part in my thinking. So it is. I never ever want my team to be a boring team to watch, and that will never be the case. But sometimes you've got to be smart.
Back at home, we know what the record's like at Vicarage Road, but the amount of clean sheets you've had as well, it's 3 in a row, and you've conceded 4 in 9 so far this season. I mean, defensively, you've got just everything right at home, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm not silly. Sometimes a little bit fortunate, or relying on our goalkeeper. But no, the home form's been strong. We face a very tough test coming up on Sunday, and respect what Carlos's team the threats they pose and how organised they are. But I feel like we're in a good enough frame of mind that it's about us on Sunday, and we'll be positive, and we'll be trying to preserve our unbeaten record at home with a win.
They love a draw, don't they, West Brom?
Yeah, it's one of those that you can look at their form two ways. They've not been beaten in 12, but they've only won 2. So they're really organised. So they're a team that are very, very difficult to beat. But I feel like we have the tools to do so.
With the table as it is, and with them occupying that position, I suppose it's a case of staying in touch with that top 6.
Yeah. Obviously, that I'm a type of guy who doesn't like to have the games in hand. You feel like you would rather have played that game and accumulated points and be sitting higher in the table. But we have the game in hand that could take us joint 5th. It's a big game Sunday. It's 2 teams that I feel like will be in and around each other for the foreseeable until the end of the season. So yeah, there's no hiding places that I view this as a very important game.
They're an interesting team because with all that talent and attacking, prowess, they're actually quite defensive, particularly away from home.
Yeah, they're like I said, you think of Carlos's teams, you think organised. They're very difficult to break down. They're actually quite rotational in possession, and it'll be a difficult preparation for us. But like I said, it's about us on Sunday, and our focus in our preparation will be a lot on how we're going to approach the game, and I'm looking forward to it.
When you played, Tom, you were a player who did a lot of the non-sexy stuff. Without naming names, but you were aware of other players who maybe didn't quite pull their weight in that area. Then, in a game, you think you could do a bit more.
My job is to improve players in areas I feel like they can be improved. Now, I was a player that never had that match-winning moment in me. At Premier League level, certainly, I didn't have that match-winning moment, and I fully understood that you can't have 11 me's in a team. You have to have 2 or 3 that can produce that spark. We're lucky enough to have those. Like I said, my job in development is to improve them in the areas of their game where I can see they can improve. And when we do that with our younger match winners, I feel like they can be very, very complete football players.
Is it a blind spot then? It's not like players deliberately don't do it?
No. These are they're good professionals. They're good people. They want to do well for this football club. And it's not a case of laziness or being oblivious to it. It's just me giving them an understanding of that part of the game.
Do you think with all the sports science analysis that sometimes when you get these 3-game weeks, you can dig too deep into the numbers, whereas back in the day, people would just pick the team they thought was the right team for the occasion?
Yeah, and I've got a great relationship with the rest of my staff when it comes to these decisions, and we collaborate, and I always pick a team that I feel like will win the game. I think there has to be some strategy through this busy period now, because if we go at it heavy-handed, then we could come up with 10, 11 injuries at the end of the month, and other clubs are doing it with strategy and will fall behind. So, but no, I'm not obsessed with numbers and data, and we collaborate well as a staff to make sure that we're pushing the players as much as we can.
One of the things that was obvious again last night was we are one of the best teams when we're going forward. We look a threat. How do you, as a coach, turn what you talked about, like that threat to the final third, into more chances? Because we didn't have a shot on target in that first half.
Yeah, and I think, listen, the players have to take a little bit of responsibility for that one. There was a lack of quality when we got into that in and around that box, because I felt like we got there in a very controlled and classy way a lot of times. It's just that last bit was missing, which we've not been guilty of too many times this season. And then yeah, we have our real explosive players come on, but I've said that sometimes can create a little bit of an unbalanced look and stretched look to our side. But I felt like it was a good timing to have a go at the last half an hour.
It's interesting you said about Vata as a number 9. Could you play him, do you think, in the way we play as a number 9? Has that crossed your mind?
Yeah, he'd have to improve his back to goals, but he's certainly got brilliant movement. He's quick. He's a fantastic finisher. He's got a lot of attributes that could lend itself to playing that position. So yeah, he's a young, exciting player. He's someone who I look forward to working with and progressing. But again, I said it with Bar 6 weeks ago. Let's now not expect Vata to be scoring 2-3 goals every week.
That does suggest then that in the way you play a number 9, it doesn't have to be 6'4" and built like a brick wall. It can be someone who's mobile.
Yeah, exactly, and just like people see football in different ways. You know, the last coach saw Shiralta as a number 6, and I see my number 6s as more sort of technical and ball players. So yeah, I don't think my striker has to be 6'4" and good in the air. There are different ways, and yeah, Vata is a good attacking option for us to have.
Morning, Tom.
On it.
Whatever happens, one of the hallmarks of your management is going to be that break on record, which really turned around what had happened in the months before it. Talking to Mattie Pollock after the last home game, I asked him, is it becoming a burden? Is it a yoke on his shoulders? He said, absolutely not. It's something to be enjoyed. Because, of course, as it stretches, as the home run goes on, people are saying, oh, how long is it going to last? And is it? It doesn't appear to be, does it? As you approach Sunday, it's a game to look forward to and try and stretch that record again.
Absolutely. Like I said before, I feel like Sunday's fixture is a very important one for us as a club, and the fact that it lands at home, I think, makes it's a big advantage for us. I hope that they feel that advantage, and subconsciously, as an opposition player, you would go into someone who is starting to get a reputation as a home team. Now we have to deliver the goods, but we're really excited that this fixture that feels an important one is at home, where we feel so comfortable.
Yeah, and the fans are comfortable as well. They compared to the previous ones, if you attend a lot of games like I did, there's a different feeling in the crowd for home game. There's anticipation.
They're playing a big part of it, and with that there comes anticipation and expectation. But they're playing a big part of it. I've said before, they've got a great feeling of when they feel the team needs a lift, or a lift in a bit of a pickup. But no, they've got a great feeling of at times if we're defending a lead, if we look a little bit flat, they've had a great feeling of when the team needs lifting, and in turn, the connection we've built, we've managed to have a real good run of results.
And I think one of the things fans enjoy is the pace in the team. Because look at that, it wasn't a home game Wednesday, but far down the right with that run and then the cut back for the goal was sort of typical of what you can provide now. There is a lot of pace there.
Yeah,
it in itself generates excitement.
Yeah, 1v1, he's an exceptional player. He's explosive. He gets people off their seats. He's the type of player you'd buy a ticket for. And yeah, he's got an outstanding super strength of when he's 1v1 with defenders. And yeah, we've got a lot of exciting forward players. And it's my job to try and find the balance to fit as many of them in the team as possible for each given game.
Well, with Bar, he's not seen as a number 9, but he operates wide as well. Would you prefer he stayed in the middle or?
No, absolutely not. I feel like his best actions come when he's isolated 1v1. Normally that is down the outside of the pitch. So yeah, in our structure we try and get him in those areas and scenarios as much as we possibly can, because he is devastating when he's up against someone 1v1.
And we were talking the other day about Giorgi, another pacey player. You were saying that you saw some comparison with Grealish, really?
Yeah. When I think of the best ball carrier and how comfortable they are at taking the ball and travelling with it, is Jack Grealish, who I played with. So Giorgi certainly has a lot of qualities similar to Jack, and a bit like Jack as well. He needs to add goals to his game to go to the next level. So Jack's managed to get all the way to the top. And hopefully Giorgi's on that same trajectory. Thank you.